So, all day fam. What's good with it? So, here's the thing, man. I'm going to start this off with talking about. There's quite a few things I want to talk about. Let me see. Let's start off talking about the combine. I haven't really talked about that lately. So, I thought this was very interesting. I thought this was ironic, actually, because first off, oh, here's a video. Let's watch the video real quick.
Sadiq, 4-4 flat. Number one tight end available by far and away, according to his measurements. And the Ducks off and rolling.
He's flying.
Kenyon Sadiq, 4-4 flat.
Yeah, he was absolutely flying.
That ties 6 in 2010. It has been 6 years since we saw 4-4 flat by a tight end. So a box we assumed he would check, he just did.
Okay. So, I show that to you all. And specifically, let me get off this real quick because I'll read this article, but I'm going to do my take for a quick second. Because specifically, I show that because I think it's ironic. I mean, the last tight end that has ran a 40. Well, he beat the tight end, the last tight end that had the fastest 40-yard dash, I guess, for all tight ends, Vernon Davis. I think Vernon Davis had a 4.41 or set by official time best at the previous mark of 4.41. No. Hold on. I think Vernon Davis had a 4.39. Hold on, let me see that so quick. Yeah, well, we're charging to say, but hold on. He breaks for Vernon Davis. He ran a 4.3, like, so. Kenyon Sadiq ran a 4.39. Vernon Davis, yeah, so 11, like when he had it. I'm trying to see what did Vernon Davis run. I think Vernon Davis ran like a 4.4 or whatever. He broke the record. I was trying to see specifically what was the 40-yard dash by Vernon Davis, but Kenyon Sadiq is obviously a freakish athlete. He is stupid talented. So who did Vernon Davis play under? He played under Jim Harbaugh, and there has been speculation that the Chargers could draft Kenyon Sadiq. And the last type of tight end I don't know if Kenyon Sadiq is the type of quarterback like Vernon Davis, tight end that Vernon Davis was, but he's definitely just as athletic as Vernon Davis. So Kenyon, Jim Harbaugh is the type of coach that can get the very best out of players, and Mike McDaniel, he's going to get the very best out of his offense. So I think it's ironic that that the Chargers might take a look at Kenyon Sadiq. He fits all the measurables, and could he be like a Vernon Davis 2.0? He has the skill set. I think he's still very raw, but I mean, he has the skill set, and if any coach can really get the most out of him, he's the two coaches right there, Jim Harbaugh and Mike McDaniel, and then you got the quarterback. So, and he compare very well with Aranda Gatson. I think that'll be. If he's there, I know the Chargers are going to pick him up. If he's the best player on the board, I know the Chargers are going to pick him up. I can just see it happening. So don't be surprised if that happens. So I mean, like I said, he's still a kind of a raw tight end, and he doesn't have the. I guess you could say he's not like the best. I don't think he's the best. He's rated as the best tight end, but there might be other tight ends in this draft who might be better than him. But because of his skill set, he's rated as number one. I mean, Brock Bowers is a way better tight end than he is, but he's way more athletic than Brock Bowers. And if he can get some good training and get some good coaching, he could be better than Brock Bowers, probably, maybe. But we'll see. That time will tell with that. Let's see here. A second. I also want to say, look at this thing, this article. So it says Indianapolis, Oregon's Kenyon Sadiq ran the fastest 40-yard dash of any tight end at the NFL scouting combine since at least 2003, posting a blazing time of 4:39 seconds on Friday. Sadiq's official time bested the previous mark of 4:40 seconds set by Vernon Davis. Okay, so Vernon Davis, he ran a 4:4. Kenyon Sadiq, so he ran a 4:39. So he beat yeah. So the 6'3", 241 pounds. I think that was about the same size as Vernon Davis. I think Vernon Davis was about that same size. Sadiq was expected to be a standout during the workout portion of the event, and he started the night with a broad jump of 11-1. It was the highest mark of the 2026 combine among tight ends before Vanderbilt's Eli Stowers topped it a few minutes later with a jump of 11-3. Sadiq shined in the vertical league too, jumping 43.5 inches, only to be outdone by Stowers shortly thereafter. He posted a jump of 45.5 inches, the best mark for a tight end since at least 2003. So Stowers is looking pretty athletic too. I wonder what Stowers ran in his 40. Let's see. Prospect grade of 6.24. He's from Vanderbilt, 6'4", 239. He ran a 4.51. So that's pretty fast too. I mean, he's athletic. His Stowers overview. Stowers is an explosive quarterback convert with just 3 years at the tight end position. He's an excellent athlete with long arms, but needs to keep filling out his frame. But how big is he? 239. Okay, I can get that. He's a natural pass catcher with an outstanding catch radius and massive run after catch talent. While his route running, contested catchability need work, he excels at moving the chains on screen, short catches. He has the speed to threaten downfield against linebackers. His run blocking ceiling might be low, but his traits create above average potential as a pass catching F tight end, fitting the growing trend of utilizing 2 and 3 tight end sets more heavily. His strengths: adjust to route redirection. It can beat linebackers down the seam. Displayed good in and out quickness from his breaks versus Texas. Hands catcher who excels in bringing in throws from outside his frame. That's good. So he catches the ball away from his body, tracks down field throws, adjusting speed and positioning accordingly. 7-foot high jumper who can leap. Yeah, obviously had a 45.5 vertical extend and can catch at the highest point. So he can be like a 50-50 guy. Dangerous acceleration of looseness to add yards after the catch. So he can give you that yak. He's strong then. Ability to stalk and mirror as a positional blocker in the slot. His weakness coasting to route breaks and drifts instead of making crisp cuts. So you can round off his route sometimes. Bad habit of letting off the gas and shirking his true play speed. And that's not good. Can be coasted at the top of the route by handsy coverage. Inconsistent to claim his catch space on contested throws. So sometimes he cannot have strong hands. Commitment and aggression as a run blocker is not where he needs to be. He has no special teams experience. Those are his weaknesses. So he has a lot of room for growth. will eventually be a starter. That's where his grade is at. So, we finished reading about Sadiq. So, Sadiq shined in the vertically too. Oh, yeah, we already talked about that. Even still, Sadiq, who is NFL.com analyst Daniel Jeremiah's number 16 overall prospect, had a marvelous day. Who was finally able to outspace Stowers in an event with his 4.39 40 with Stowers lodging an official time of 4.51. Sadiq turned in his finest college season in 2025 with 51 catches, 560 yards, 11 yards are average, and 8 touchdown catches, which led all FBS tight ends. He was a second-team Associated Press All-American and Big Ten Conference tight end of the year, losing out on the John Mackey Award, nation's top tight end to Stowers. Him and Stowers has been competition all year. So Stowers is no slouch. Entering the combine, Sadiq was widely viewed as the top tight end in the class and a likely first-round pick. His tremendous workout numbers won't do much to slow down the hype train. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Sadiq is definitely going to be on Jim Harbaugh's radar. And so we got 2026 NFL Combine stock up and stock down, day 2, 10 prospects on the move. So Indianapolis, the second night of the workouts, of the 2026 and Scouting Combine is in the books. Defensive back to tight ends taking center stage on Friday. Let's see. Many of those who partook in the events at Lucas Oil Stadium wowed scouts with their speed in the 40-yard dash, their agility and drills, and explosiveness in the broad and vertical jumps. Some exceeded expectations, causing their draft stock to rise. Others displayed flaws in their speed or athleticism or chose not to perform, hurting their chances of being selected on day 1 or day 2 when the draft begins in Pittsburgh, April 23rd, 25th. So they listed some players who are undoubtedly impressed the league's personnel decision makers with their on-the-field performance. So I also listed players who could use a strong effort after the school's Pro Day to lead the most favorable impression possibly for the draft. Mind you all, this draft is very underwhelming. Not a lot of guys are really like jaw-dropping. So Dalen Everett, cornerback out of Georgia. His game feel was not elite, but he had a great. Mind you all, don't get manipulated, I guess you could say, by these combine performances. You're guys who has terrible performances at the combine, and they are great players. They end up being great players, or they already were great players. And there's guys who come out here and they just blow they just blow those socks out of the water, I guess you can say, at the NFL combine, and they become trash in the NFL. So and some of them may not even be starters. And some of them may be on the way out of the league in 2 years. So these numbers really means absolutely nothing for the most part. Not saying that a guy who could have a great combine, he's not going to be a great player, but just don't, please. These are just measurements. That's all it is. You can only do so much with football by measurements. You can really, and even if some of these guys have great game tape, the tape can't even tell you everything. The NFL is a different sport, like from college. It's different. The rules are different. The speed is different. The plays are different. The everything is different. Like the only similarity is that it's still football at the end of the day, but it's different football. So I mean, these are fun to look at. They're interesting, but that's all. It stops there. It's fun. It's interesting. And it may play a part if some of these guys, if they're actually true football players and they can translate and they find a way how to transition that athleticism to their game field, to their play on the field. Is Tyreek Hill a free agent? Yes, he is. The Miami Dolphins release him. I don't know what's the most recent news of Tyreek Hill, but I can look that up for you. Let's see. Let's see what's the new news. Tyreek Hill. All right. After that, after I'm done looking at this, I'll look at some news of Tyreek. So let's keep going. But yeah, so Chris Johnson, San Diego State cornerback senior, had the most impressive overall workout among the combine cornerbacks, which should put him in the top 50 conversation. Really, he checked the necessary box with his measurements. 6 foot, 193. Okay, these guys are good. That's a good size. I mean, for for a corner. He runs a 4.4, 38-inch vertical jump. His backspin was smooth. He showed the ability to turn it into on a dime. Johnson double caught and dropped a couple of passes, but he looked good bringing in others. Dang, this dude ran a 4.32. Cornerback out of Missouri. Though he's not the biggest corner. He's 5'10", 185. He looked fast during drills too, though he struggled to catch the ball and change directions early. Kenyon today, we already talked about him. Renzo Styles Jr., safety at Ohio State. He ran a 4.27. Dang. We all saw Lorenzo's brother, Sonny, dominate Thursday's combine proceedings, so it's no surprise Lorenzo ran a 4.27 second 40. The fastest by a safety since at least 2003, and jumped 39 inches in the vertical. The former Notre Dame receiver flashed the ball skills to grab passes outside his frame and has good size. He's 6 foot 194 for a defensive back. Styles was a bit stiff in his movements during drills, though, which could keep him from climbing into day 2 of the draft. It's fast as hell, 4.27. Dylan Diamond, 4.35, safety out of Oregon. Let's see. This cornerback out of Ohio. Yeah, okay. Let's see. All right, so Tyreek Hill news. I thought this was interesting. All right, so look at this. Steelers GM makes intentions with wide receiver Tyreek Hill. As soon as wide receiver Tyreek Hill reached the open market following his Miami Dolphins release, pundits tried to link him to multiple teams that included the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have a significant need at receiver. But the Steelers have any interest in Hill, it appears to be minimal at best. That's what a recent radio appearance on night. Look, I have not considered the possibility that the Steelers trade DK Metcalf. Florio said, who are you going to replace him with if you trade him? I asked Amar Khan recently about Tyreek Hill, and he said we are happy with that. We are happy with what we have. So Steelers not interested. It takes some connecting the dots to claim Khan's reaction and potentially adding Hill as an indication of no interest. But after connecting those dots, it's rather clear. It's highly unlikely Khan is happy with who the team has at receiver. The Steelers have been trying to upgrade the position for years. They landed DK Metcalf in a blockbuster deal last March, who they completely overtraded. But shipping George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys, which I also thought was dumb, in May, created another hole. Like, why would you trade for DK Metcalf, who is pretty much a downfall from George Pickens, and then just to trade away George Pickens? That was really dumb what the Pittsburgh Steelers did. They should have. It would have been great if they would have traded for DK Metcalf and kept George Pickens for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that makes more logical sense, does it not? I sometimes I just really don't understand like some of what these owners do. Like, what's their logic behind their moves? But anyway, I digress. At the NFL Combine, the Steelers are meeting with several wide receivers. That will only fuel mock draft speculation that the team could target a wide out in the first round, which is not logical because this is a very underwhelming draft, and there's only a couple of wide receivers who I think are actually going to be really good this year, like Mekhi Lemon, guy out of Ohio State. Steelers, they draft pretty bad. On Wednesday, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Gary wrote the Steelers like a pair of incoming rookie receivers already, Amari Cooper Jr. and Malachi Fields. It's pretty apparent the Steelers aren't happy with who they have. In fact, they really don't have anybody at receiver except Metcalf. And Metcalf is completely overrated. Wide receivers Calvin Austin III, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, and Scotty Miller are all unrestricted free agents in March. Veteran Adam Thielen retired. After Metcalf, Pittsburgh top returning wideout is Roman Wilson, who had 12 catches last season. The Steelers can't possibly be satisfied with Wilson as wide receiver number 2. No. The comment from Khan on Hill was likely a nice way of saying the team has virtually no interest in next Dolphins wideout. Tyreek Hill's 2026 NFL free agency market. Because of how Florio started the conversation around the Steelers' potential interest in Hill, it's important to note that even if Khan changes his mind and pursues Hill, he shouldn't be a possible replacement for Metcalf. Florio presumably made the assumption because Hill was arguably NFL's top receiver in 2022 and 2023 with the Dolphins. In 2023, Hill led the league with almost 2,000 yards, receiving yards, and 13 receiving touchdowns. That campaign was his 5th first-team All-Pro season. Wait, 5th? Wait, Tyreek Hill has 5 All-Pros? Is that true? Jesus. Wow. He has 5 All-Pros. Wow. Is that first team too? That's a lot of All-Pros for a wide. That's a lot of All-Pros, man. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. It's Tyreek Hill, but I didn't know he made All-Decade. He's an All-Decade player. I didn't know that. Let's read about this real quick. Hold on. Show this video. Show y'all another article. Tyreek Hill was elite in 2022 and 2023. Obviously, Hill was among the highest grades. See, this is why I get frustrated with Charter fans because I'm like, you guys are just not smart. Like for saying you don't want Tyreek Hill. I mean, I understand the guy's coming off a serious injury, but not all injuries affects the players the same. I'm just going to put it to you like that. Some guys are built different. Some guys are wired different. They train different. They treat their body different. They heal different. So injuries, I'm not going to sit here and act like this injury, even though it's a serious injury, but I'm not going to sit here and act like it's equal as opposed to Jalen Waddle getting injured. It's not the same. I understand Tyreek Hill is 32, but a 32 Tyreek Hill is different than a 32-year-old of, who can I say? I'm trying to think of a wide receiver. Whatever, Roman Wilson. I mean, I just named him, so somebody like that. 32 Roman Wilson, 32 Tyreek Hill, completely 2 different type of players. You know where I'm getting at? Tyreek Hill was elite. He was among the highest graded wide receivers since joining the Miami Dolphins, finishing with over 100 yards per game, a target rate over 30% both years, and a yards per route run figure above 3.0 both seasons. A big step back in 2024. Obviously, Hill played every game, and his routes per game increased from the previous 2, but his yards and fantasy points per game were nearly cut in half. Oh, I can't read the rest of it. It's not going to allow me to. But right here, it says Tyreek Hill is a future Hall of Fame receiver who made an all-decade team, 5 first team All-Pros. Wow. 5 first team. That's a lot. I wonder how many Jerry Rice has. How many All-Pros does Jerry Rice has? I looked this up before, but I can't remember it. So Jerry Rice was named All-Pro 12 times. That's a freaking lot. So he was named All-Pro 12 times, and he has 10 first-team All-Pros. Tied for the most by any player. Can Tyreek Hill break that? I don't know if he can break that because Tyreek Hill, feel like is kind of on his way out. I don't think Tyreek Hill can get 5 more, but he's not. I mean, 5 is a lot. 5 first. I wonder how many opposite Terrell Owens have. Let me see. T.O. has 5 first team All Pros. Tyreek Hill Tyreek Hill already matched that, and T.O. is on pretty much almost everybody's. I mean, he's on my. I mean, I think T.O. is the greatest wide receiver of all time, but T.O. is definitely on everybody's top 5 at least list of all time. So, and Tyreek Hill has matched that already. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. I think like Charger fans, they sometimes get caught up in stupid stuff. Like I don't care, man. Tyreek Hill is a stupid talented player. If the Chargers can somehow figure out a way to get him, they need to just go ahead and get him. Now, Joe Ortiz had pretty much already said that he doesn't mind doing it, but Joe Ortiz is talking about he wants to take care of in-house first before they go into free agency, which makes perfect sense. I think it's a great strategy. Take care of the guys that you want to bring back. You know, they want to bring back Alway. They want to bring back Khalil Mack. They want to bring back. It looks like they're interested in bringing back Zion. So you take care of those guys. If you can get some, if you can restructure some contracts, if you can probably extend some contracts or whatever, get that done, and then see who you can get. I think Hill should be one of their main priorities after they take care of in-house, because you got a wide receiver who's already familiar with Mike McDaniel. You got a wide receiver who will kill it with Justin Herbert, whose skill set matches Herbert's skill set so well. Tyreek Hill complements Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert never had a receiver like Hill. Never. And I also read some reports that some people were thinking that the Chargers could make a trade for A.J. Brown. So at first, the Eagles were saying they didn't want to trade A.J. Brown, and then it was looking like A.J. Brown wasn't going anywhere, but the entire media is acting like he needs to go. And I agree. Even if J.J. Brown doesn't go to the Chargers, he needs to go somewhere but the Eagles. It's obvious A.J. Brown is not happy with the Eagles. It's obvious. Now, here's the thing. If A.J. Brown goes from the Eagles to the Patriots, he's not going to be happy. Drake May is not the type of quarterback that can really complement A.J. Brown's game, and that's going to be able to, that can complement A.J. Brown's game. I'll leave it at that. He's not that type of quarterback. Neither is Josh Allen. I know you all don't like to hear that, but Josh Allen is not, but I hope A.J. Brown does go to the Bills. So you all can just see how right I am. Because Josh Allen already had a true number one, and he did absolutely nothing with that true number one. He ran that true number one off the building. But look what Stephon Diggs did when he left. He didn't do anything when he was at the Texans, but when he went to the Patriots, look what happened. They went to the Super Bowl, and he complimented Drake May very, very well. He helped Drake May. Now, granted, he didn't do anything in the Super Bowl, and he hardly did anything in the playoffs. But throughout the year, he did help. He did contribute. My thing is that it's not like a lack of wide receivers help is why Josh Allen can't get over the hump. I say it's more of Josh Allen's playing style is why they can't get over the hump. But people don't want to say that. People don't want to admit it. But in time, you all are going to have no other choice but to admit that it's Josh Allen's playing style is why they can't get over the hump. And I'm telling you right now, if he continues on, keep playing like he's playing, they're never going to make it to the Super Bowl. I promise you they're not. I promise you. And you're going to see how right I am. But so Hill or A.J. Brown to the Bills or the Patriots, it's not going to help them so much. Hill or AJ Brown needs a quarterback like Herbert, Mahomes, Stafford, even. But not the one that's going to go to the Rams. But those are the type of quarterbacks I'm just saying. Even Burrow. Burrow has already proven time and time again that he can get the ball to you. I just say Burrow is overrated because I just want to see what he can do without Jamar Chase. But when he has those type of receivers, you see what he does. You see what he does. So you can't knock him that much. At least he distribute. At least he knows. Burrow knows how to distribute the ball. There's no argument with that. You get what I'm saying? So, right. Lamar Jackson. Forgot Lamar Jackson. It will be AJ Brown and Hill will be great for Lamar Jackson. They would. Now, I don't think Baltimore will be good for Hill because Hill is a 32 wide receiver. He's of age. I mean, I already said he's of age. He's coming off an injury. I just don't think playing in cold weather will do Hill justice at this stage in his career. Hill needs to go somewhere completely comfortable for him. He needs to go somewhere that is not going to be too much of an obstacle that he has to overcome for him for him to be able to excel his skill set. Hill needs to go. The only two options, in my opinion, for Hill is the Chiefs or the Chargers. If Tyreek Hill can't go to the Chiefs or the Chargers, he needs to hang it up. Because I'm telling you right now, it's not going to benefit him as much. So I think Hill knows that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want Hill going back to the Chiefs, but it makes sense if he does. It makes perfect sense, all the sense in the world. He's familiar with Mahomes. Mahomes is that quarterback that can get you the ball. Mahomes, you already know what Mahomes is going to do. Andy Reid, you already know what Andy Reid is going to do. If not Chiefs, the Chargers is pretty much the same similar situation. The only difference is, it's a little more better weather in LA. It does get cold and a little snowy out there in Kansas City. So that's something that Hill is going to have to take in consideration. The perfect destination for Tyreek Hill is the Chargers. It's perfect for him. Perfect, and I think he knows that. He was kind of already throwing hints out there like a year ago about him coming to LA. So we're going to see. I mean, like I said, it has been talks that the Chargers could trade for AJ Brown. We'll see about that too. But interesting time. This is a very, very interesting offseason. This is one of the most interesting off seasons that I have covered in a while because a lot of guys can be free agents and a lot of guys can get traded and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting off season. And on top of that, I mean, the draft is extremely underwhelming. So, I mean, you got a lot of guys who can leave and get traded or sign. A lot of interesting free agents out there with a very underwhelming NFL draft. So that's that. Let's see here. Maybe I talk about this real quick before I get out of here. Give me a second. Let's see here what we got. Oh, maybe we talk about this real quick. I thought this was cool. I'm like, yo, Chargers, draft this guy. I love him. I love an obsessed player. I love obsessed people. Tells me
Prove myself in the locker room, just be the person that I am.
Let's get
That
it.
I'm getting drafted in general. No matter where I go, I don't really care for the number. I just know that whatever team end up picking me, gonna get the best out of me, gonna get the best player in the draft. In my opinion, I'm gonna come in with the mindset to work every day, prove myself in the locker room, and just be the person that I am.
What do you want teams to know about you that they haven't already seen?
Um, Now I'm getting drafted.
Ah,
I
one
don't really care for the number. I just
response. But I showed y'all that because it's like it says Miami star defensive end Ruben Bain Jr. has gone viral for not getting a haircut for the NFL combine or interviews. Football player, bro. You don't need to get a haircut. I eat, sleep, and breathe football. That's all I do. I don't have any other hobbies. A player saying this right here, if I was a GM, oh yeah, he on my board. I mean, if he's not on my board, I'm definitely putting him on my board. And when it's time for me to pick, if he's there, I'm drafting him. Football players are just not going to come out and say this. You would think that a guy in NFL or a guy coming out of college getting drafted will say something like this and think it will be obvious. But not everybody, just because of this. One thing that fans has to understand is that just because somebody plays football, or somebody plays football, I should say, just because somebody is playing D1 ball, and just because they're great at playing D1 ball, and just because they're about to go draft it, and just because they're in the field, doesn't mean they love football that much. Doesn't mean they love football as much as your perception of that guy. It doesn't mean that. I played football for a very, very long time, and I've met guys who weren't who they didn't care about football like that. What Ruben Bain Jr. says, can't ignore that, because with that type of mentality, that type of obsession, that's going to get you far. It can make you a great player. It make you it starts there for you to be a great. It starts there for you to be a GOAT. It starts there for you to be a Hall of Famer. That's where it starts with that obsession. I don't care about anything else. I eat, sleep, and breathe football. I don't care about anything else. That's the priority. That's the main thing. So that to me, like when I saw that, I was like, yo, I gotta talk about that real quick. And I got us to be like, yo, Chargers, draft this dude. Get him. I haven't watched any tape on him. I haven't watched any college football outside of the second half of the national championship. But somebody said something like that, and they talk about he didn't cut his hair, he didn't do anything for any, because bro, he dude's locked in. He like, I don't care about all that. I'm a football player. I'm not here to dress the part. I'm here to play the part. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. And that's how I was when I played. Like, my mom used to get on me a lot for like not grooming myself. And bro, I didn't care about that crap, man. I was like, yo, like, I want to be great. Me grooming myself is not gonna make me great. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you gotta be like, it's the obsession, bro. Like, people don't get it. Not everybody gets that type of mentality. But I get it though, and I love it. That's why I wanted to say something about that. But yeah, let's see here. Something else I was going to talk about too. What's also on the menu? Oh yeah, I think Charter fans are like this. Let me see. Hold on. I mean, I think this is not a possibility. I mean, I'm gonna say it's a possibility, but I think this is very unlikely. But interesting article. I'm just gonna read it. I don't think it's a chance in hell that the Raiders is going to trade Maxx Crosby, but hey, this was an article. It was out. It was written. So that was interesting. It's a very recent article. Came out this morning. So I was like, hey, I saved the link. I was going to read it, talk about it. ESPN pitches trade offer for Chargers to land Raiders Maxx Crosby. I'm going to entertain it. Talk about a power couple. NFL star Myles Garrett supports. Oh no, about that. So the Chargers have been listed as a trade partner for the Raiders edge rusher Maxx Crosby. They shouldn't get us this excited, man. Seth Water proposed the following trade and explained why their offer is realistic for the AFC West rivals. Raiders get 2026 second round pick, number 55 overall, 2026 sixth round pick, 2027 fifth round pick. Chargers get Crosby. Will the Chargers, like, will the Raiders be interested in that? Like, because I don't think the Chargers have any problem giving the Raiders that. Especially in this year's draft, 2026 second round pick. Okay, they'd be like, okay, if I was Joe Hershey's, I'd be like, okay, I don't think the Raiders is interested in that. So it says, let me start with the Raiders, who would surely bristle at the notion of trading their star within their division. But that fear is short-sighted. If you are going to trade away a star, why not take the draft capital from a rival? Okay. By the time the Raiders are true contenders again, Crosby might well be slowing down while the draft picks have 4 cost control years to play for Vegas. And against the Chargers, water rights. So good. I mean, I get it. I think it does make sense. That's logical. The Chargers with Chris O'Leary replacing Jesse Minter at defensive coordinator could use help at edge rusher. Of course they can. Khalil Mack and Adolphe Allway are pending free agents. So the Chargers, and even if they aren't, even if we resign Khalil Mack and Adolphe Allway, we still got to be in the market of looking for an edge rusher, whether we're going to draft one or whether we can pick one up in free agency. Because Khalil Mack, he is not something that you need to depend on now. He's anymore. He's on his way out of the league. He's towards the end of his career, even though he's still playing at a high level. It's still every year. It's like, is he going to come back or not? We got to get another an edge, out in, to replace Mac. So the Chargers could use their bounty of cap space to trade for and absorb Crosby's contract. The fact that Crosby's deal is salary heavy, meaning the Chargers take on the money, and that he will turn 29 before next season, and this is why I'm not offering a first-round pick here. Perfect sense. I get that. Okay. The Chargers have some financial flexibility this offseason thanks to $87 million in cap space. However, Crosby's $35.8 million 2026 cap hit is too steep, and the team should prioritize re-signing its own players at the position, whether that be Adolphe Allway or Khalil Mack or both. Additionally, reports at the NFL Combine suggest that the Raiders expect Crosby to play for the team in 2026. I do, General Manager John Spiketick said when asked whether they expect Crosby to play for the Raiders next season. Max is an elite player, and I've been very upfront with from the start when I got here that we're in the business of having really good players on the team, Spiketick said, and we need a lot more of them. In 2025, Crosby recorded 10 sacks, 45 solo tackles, and 2 forced fumbles. All right, so that's that. I think it's very unlikely. Like Gian just told y'all, and I believe every word he just said. I just thought it was an interesting article. I was going to read it. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there's a chance in hell that the Raiders is going to trade him unless they get a king's ransom for Crosby. It's obvious the Raiders wants him. It's not obvious that he wants the Raiders, but it's not really up to Crosby right now. So that's that. But that's all I have for y'all, man, like tonight. So I thank you all so much. And if you want more, you know where to find me. We do this all day and consistently because it's no days off. And like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. The channel is growing. And I thank you all so much. Deuces.